The mahogany conference table gleamed under the harsh fluorescence of the Chicago boardroom. But it might as well have been a guillotine. Richard Harlan's voice boomed like thunder over the Midwest plains. "Ethan, my boy, the keys to Harlan Enterprises are yours. You've earned this legacy with your grit and your family values." And just like that, with a single handshake that echoed like a slammed door, my world cracked open, spilling out the secret I'd buried deeper than the Windy City's winter frost. Austin Harlan, the invisible son, wasn't just overlooked, I was erased. I stood there in the shadow of my older brother, 28 to his 34, my heart pounding a rhythm of betrayal that no amount of forced smiles could quiet. Dad's eyes skipped over me like I was a smudge on the glass skyscrapers outside, his pride swelling for Ethan, the golden boy with the wife and the 2.5 kids on the horizon. Me, the one who'd crunched numbers in the back office since I was 16. The one who dreamed in code and strategy while Ethan schmoozed clients over steaks at Gibson's. But dreams don't count when you're the son who loves men instead of the narrative dad scripted in his Hiata straight arrow heir for a straight arrow empire built on real estate and ruthless deals. That night, as the loop's neon bled through my apartment windows, I poured whiskey neat and let the burn mirror the one in my chest. Ethan called, his voice all brotherly backslap. "Hey. AUS. Big news." "Huh. Dad's finally seeing sense. We'll make this work. You can still handle the tech side. Keep things humming." As if I were the side dish. The upgrade package. I hung up without a word, staring at the photo on my nightstand, me and my ex, Jordan, from 2 years back, before he bailed because your family's a fortress I can't storm. Gay in the Harlan clan wasn't a phase. It was a fault line. One Dad had ignored since I came out at 20. His response occurred, "We'll keep that quiet for the business." Quiet. Like my entire soul. The weeks blurred into a haze of feigned congratulations and freelance gigs that paid the rent on my Wicker Park walk-up but starved the fire in my gut. Harlan Enterprises thrived under Ethan billboards touting luxury condos in River North. Expansions into green tech that I had pitched, but he took credit for. I watched from afar, building my own app for urban planners. Something sleek and innovative that whispered of the futures I could have shaped. Then came Marcus. We met at a queer film fest in Andersonville. Him with his easy laugh and artist hands, sketching strangers on napkins while the screen flickered with stories of outcasts finding home. 31. A graphic designer from Milwaukee with ink on his arms and a vulnerability that matched my own. He saw men at the Harlan shadow. But Austin, the man who coded dreams into reality. Our first date was falafel under the L tracks. Rain slicking the streets as we talked Foucault and family ghosts. My dad's a pastor. Marcus confessed over shared hummus. His brown eyes steady. Coming out was like rewriting his sermon. He still preaches love. But mine's the sin he skips. I laughed, bitter and real, and told him about the boardroom blade. By dessert, his hand brushed mine under the table. And for the first time since the announcement, I felt seen, not sidelined. We tumbled into something fierce that summer nights tangled in his loft. Mornings with coffee and code reviews. Him challenging my cynicism with sketches of us as superheroes toppling corporate towers. "You're the hero. AUS. He'd murmur, tracing my collarbone. "The one who builds, not breaks." But heroes don't get happy endings without a villain's arc. Ethan's empire started cracking in the fall. Whispers in the trades about shady deals, kickbacks from contractors. Falsified permits for a high-rise that hugged the lakefront too tight. I dismissed it as office gossip until the Tribune splashed it across page 1. Harlan Air in hot water. Bribery probe rocks Chicago developer. Dad's calls went to voicemail. Ethan's texts were frantic. "It's bullshit. Bro-framing job." But the evidence mounted like Lake Michigan Foge mails I'd glimpsed once, buried in the server I used to maintain. Ethan had cut corners, greased palms, all to outpace competitors. His family values, a mask for the greed Dad had modeled but never reined in. The board convened in emergency session. Dad's face ashen on the video feed from his Florida condo, where he'd retreated post-handover like a king in exile. "Ethan, son, this is a setback," he growled, but his eyes darted, calculating losses. Stock dipped. Partners pulled out. And the family name Harlan, synonymous with Skyline's steel, teetered on scandal's edge. I stayed silent in my corner of the world, Marcus's arms a shield as we binge-watched old noir films, pretending the headlines weren't carving into my lineage. "Let them burn it down," I told him one night, the city lights fracturing through our blinds. "I'm done playing fixer for ghosts." Yet ghosts have long arms. It was a Tuesday, gray as the lake, when Dad showed up unannounced at my door. His Brooks Brothers suit rumpled, eyes hollowed by nights without sleep. He didn't knock. He pounded, like the empire itself was at the gate. "Austin," he rasped, stepping in without invite. The scent of his aftershave same as always. Old Spice and regret filling the space. Marcus was at a client meeting. Thank God. Leaving me to face the man who'd birthed me but never truly fathered. "We need you." "Ethan's. He's drowning us all." I crossed my arms, leaning against the kitchen counter where Marcus had left a half-eaten bagel. "We." Last I checked, it was Ethan's keys. Ethan's legacy. "I'm just the tech guy you sidelined." Dad winced, running a hand through silver hair that suddenly looked frail. He paced, words tumbling like indictments, the feds circling. Loans called in. Employees facing pink slips. I was wrong. "Son." I saw strength in Ethan, the mirror of myself. "But you've got the mind, the vision. Save it. Austin. Save us. Save us." The plea hung heavy, laced with the unsaid years of don't ask, don't tell around my sexuality. The holidays where I'd brought no one because who could withstand the chill? I wanted to hurl it back. Tell him legacies built on lies deserve their pyres. But beneath the anger, a flicker, the company wasn't just bricks and bids. It was Mom's memory. Her quiet insistence on ethical builds before cancer took her a decade ago. It was the kid version of me, diagramming floor plans on napkins, dreaming of cities that housed everyone, not just the elite. "Fine," I said finally, the word a grenade pin pulled. "But on my terms. No more shadows." Dad nodded, relief cracking his facade. But as he left, I sank to the floor, phone in hand, texting Marcus, coming home late. Family apocalypse. His reply, whatever it is. "You're my North Star." Kick ass. North Star. In a city of steel and secrets. That felt like enough to navigate the storm. Board meetings turned into battlegrounds. Me in the hot seat with Ethan's ghost hovering, he'd lawyered up, vanished to some Caribbean bolt hole, leaving me to sift through the wreckage. I dove into the ledgers, uncovering not just bribes, but a web of environmental shortcuts that poisoned the very soil Dad's dreams stood on. "Redirect funds here," I'd say, pointing to projections I'd run overnight, my laptop humming like a loyal steed. The board grumbled, old lions wary of a cub with alternative priorities, but results silenced them. Partnerships revived with eco-focused investors. A PR pivot to transparency that spun scandal into redemption arc. Marcus was my anchor through it all. His sketches evolving into the company's new branding, sleek lines evoking bridges, not barriers. We'd steal moments in the chaos, quick lunches at Heaven on 7, where spicy gumbo matched the heat building between us. Or late nights in my office, him sprawled on the leather sofa, reading poetry while I wrestled spreadsheets. "You're changing them. AUS," he'd say, pulling me close, his lips brushing my temple. Not just the company, the story. But stories have antagonists. And mine wore Dad's face. His support, laced with barbs. At dinner in the Gold Coast townhouse, first family meal since the handover, leaned in over ribeye. Voice low. Proud of you. Son. Just keep the personal stuff under wraps. Clients get twitchy. The knife twisted. Fresh as the first cut. Marcus, invited as a colleague, sat rigid beside me. His hand finding mine under the tablecloth, a silent rebellion. Ethan called from exile. Slurred and desperate. You think you're the savior. Dad always played favorite, straight son gets the glory. Fag gets the scraps. The slur landed like shrapnel, reopening wounds I'd cauterized with code and quiet resolve. I hung up, storming into the night. Chicago's wind whipping tears I refused to name. Marcus found me on the lakeshore, waves lapping like accusations. He doesn't define you, he whispered, wrapping me in his coat. We do. But definition came at a cost. The climax brewed in a federal hearing. Fluorescent hell where suits dissected Ethan's sins. Fingers pointing at the Harlan name. I testified, voice steady as I outlined reforms, the green audits. The whistleblower lines turning prosecution's blade back on the rod Ethan sowed. Dad watched from the gallery, his nod a fragile olive branch. Outside, reporters swarmed, one shoving a mic. Mr. Harlan, any comment on your brother's scandal and your unconventional role? Unconventional. Code for queer. For the son who loved boldly where others played safe. That night, the dam broke. Dad cornered me in the townhouse study. Whiskey glass trembling. I failed you. Austin. Saw my fears in your truth. Thought it'd taint the legacy. But you're the real builder. Tears carved tracks down his weathered cheeks. The first I'd seen since Mom's funeral. I pulled him into a hug. The kind we'd skipped for years. His sobs muffled in my shoulder. It's ours now. Dad. All of it, the company. The family. No more hiding. Ethan slunk back months later, humbled by house arrest and therapy mandates. His apology a stuttered bridge over the chasm. I was scared. AUS. Of not measuring up. Didn't see you were always ahead. Forgiveness wasn't fireworks. It was quiet. Earned in boardrooms and brunches. Where Marcus became family. His ring on my finger a promise sealed over skyline toasts. Harlan Enterprises rose anew. Not on bribes, but Bridges affordable housing in Englewood. Pride flags fluttering at corporate events. Dad retired with grace. Mentoring from afar. His pride now a beacon. Not a burden. And me. With Marcus's hand in mine. Walking Michigan Avenue under autumn leaves. I finally breathed free. Legacy isn't inherited. It's rewritten. One honest heart at a time. In the city of big shoulders. I'd found mine wide enough for love. Loud enough for truth. The federal probe dragged into winter. Snow blanketing Chicago like a shroud over our sins. But I refused to let it bury us. Morning started at dawn in the Loop high-rise. Coffee black as the lake at midnight. My fingers flying over keyboards to untangle Ethan's knots. I'd inherited not just the C-suite, but the cleanup crew loyalists who'd weathered Dad's reign and Ethan's flash. Now eyeing me with a mix of hope and skepticism. Kids got balls. Grumbled old-timer Lou over vending machine donuts. But can he deliver without the drama? Drama. If only they knew the half the internal one. Where Marcus's texts lit my screen like lifelines. Miss your chaos. Dinner. Bring that smile I own. Marcus became my secret weapon. His designs infusing the rebrand with soul logos that evoked community weaves. Not cold concrete. We'd collaborate in stolen hours. Him perched on my desk. Legs swinging. Critiquing color palettes while I vented about boardroom dinosaurs. They're relics. AUS, he'd say, his Milwaukee accent softening the edge. You're the future queer. Brilliant. Unbreakable. Unbreakable. The word stuck as I faced the first big test, wooing back Apex partners. The green tech whales who'd bolted post-scandal. Their CEO, a sharp-eyed woman from Seattle, grilled me over virtual lunch. Harlan's got blood on the books. Why trust the prodigal? Prodigal. Biblical echo. Fitting for a son returning to rewrite scripture. I laid it bare Ethan's hubris. My vision for sustainable builds that honored mom's ethos of homes for all. Not just the affluent. Data backed me. Projections showing 20% ROI on eco-condos in Pilsen. Community ties that turn neighbors into stakeholders. She leaned back. Appraising. Heard whispers about you. Austin. Not the usual air mold. My pulse spiked whispers of my orientation. Leaked from Ethan's bitter circle. But her smile disarmed. Good. We need disruptors. Deal. Victory tasted like the falafel we'd celebrated with. Marcus toasting with craft IPAs. To the son who saves what others squander. Yet salvation's price mounted. Dad hovered. His Florida son yielding to frequent flights north. Consulting, that felt like oversight. Dinners at his club stuffy with cigar smoke and sideways glances turned interrogative. Ethan's contrite. You know, he'd say. Swirling scotch. Therapy's opening his eyes. But the family image. AUS. We tread light. Tread light. On eggshells of my identity. Still the polite fiction. Marcus joined once. Charming the waitstaff with sketches on linen napkins. But Dad's small talk skirted him. Fine colleague you've got there. Colleague. The word chafed. A collar too tight. Tension peaked at the holiday gala. Harlan's annual schmooze in the Palmer House ballroom. Chandeliers dripping like frozen tears. I arrived with Marcus on my arm first public claim. Nerves electric as the jazz band's brass. Heads turned. Murmurs rippling. That's the other son. And who's the guy? Dad cornered us by the ice sculpture. Face flushed from champagne. Austin. A word. In the alcove. His whisper hissed. This isn't the time. Clients are conservative. Think of the optics. Optics. As if love were a liability ledger. Marcus overheard. His grip tightening before he slipped away. Hurt shadowing his eyes. I confronted Dad later. Voice low amid the waltz. Optics killed Mom's dreams to your shortcuts. Her compromises. I'm not compromising mine. He recoiled. Then softened. Hand on my shoulder. I know. I'm trying. Son. For you. Trying. A start. Fragile as the snow outside. Marcus waited in the coat room. Coat slung over arm. Resolve in his stance. You don't owe them your light. AUS. We drove south to his loft. Windows fogging with urgency. Bodies reclaiming what words couldn't. In the afterglow. Tangled sheets and city hum. He traced my ribs. Marry me. Not for them, for us. The question hung. A bridge I crossed without hesitation. Yes. 1,000 times. Spring thawed the probes. Ethan's plea deal a slap community service. Fines that dented but didn't destroy. He returned gaunt. Eyes clear for the first time. Knocking on my office door with takeout faux, peace offering. Little bro. I was the villain jealous of your brain. Scared of my own mediocrity. We ate in silence at first. Steam curling like confessions. Then words flowed, his marriage strains. The pressure of Dad's mold. Coming clean feels like coming out. He admitted. You're braver than me. Bravery. Shared now. A Harlan trait reclaimed. But storms circled anew. A whistleblower emerged not from Ethan's era, but mine, a junior exec. Bitter over a past promotion. Leaking emails twisting my reforms into woke overreach. Pundits pounced. Fox affiliates decrying Harlan's gay agenda ruining Chicago jobs. The board wavered. Stocks dipped. Dad called frantic. Fight it. Austin. Show them steel. Steel. I rallied. Press conference in the atrium. Marcus scripting my opener with poetic punch. Flanked by diverse team leads women. POC. Queer voices, I owned it. Harlan builds for everyone. That's not agenda. That's America. Cheers erupted. Viral clips trending. Turning tide to tsunami of support. Marcus proposed properly that June. On a rooftop in Wrigleyville. Cubs game echoing below. Ring simple platinum with engraved coordinates of our first kiss under the L. You're my city. Awesomeless. Electric. Wedding plans wove into work. Dad surprisingly on board. Footing the bill for a Logan Square ceremony. Make it yours. I've got catching up. Ethan walked me down the aisle, irony sweet, his toast cracking jokes on the straight brothers' gay wisdom. Laughter healed. A balm on old scars. By fall, Harlan stood taller, Pilsen project breaking ground. Affordable units with pride murals Marcus designed. Dad, ringside at the groundbreaking, pulled me aside. You saved more than bricks. Son, you saved me. Embrace tight. Unspoken apologies in the squeeze. Marcus and I, honeymooning in Door County, watched sunsets over green bays. His head on my shoulder, wrote our story. Hero. And in that quiet, Chicago's pulse faint but fierce in our veins. I knew, legacies bloom not from crowns past, but roots reclaimed love, the truest foundation. Summer's heat wave baked the city, mirroring the fire in my resolve as Harlan's phoenix rose from ash. Daily briefings became symphonies of stratagem at the helm, voice gaining gravel from late nights, but laced with the conviction Marcus had kindled. Diversify into impact investing. I'd urge the board. Slides glowing with models for workforce training in underserved wards. Skeptics thought. Lou, the grizzled vet, even clapped me on the back post-meeting. You're Harlan through and through. Kid smarter than your old man. Heart like your ma. Heart. The word warmed. A nod to the woman who'd whispered ethics into my ear amid Dad's deal-making din. Marcus thrived in the orbit, his freelance blooming into a full studio partnership with Harlan's creative arm. We'd lunch in Millennium Park, crowns of Cloud Gate reflecting our tangled fingers, tourists oblivious to the revolution in our glances. This is us conquering, he'd say, sketching passers-by with a wink. But conquests breed envy. Ethan's reintegration hit Snag's probation chafing. His wife filing papers amid the fallout. Whispers of his own hidden flings surfacing in tabloids. He lashed out in a family barbecue at Dad's backyard. Ribs smoking under July sun. Easy for you. Osplay the martyr. Get the glory. I built this before you dreamed it. The accusation stung. Coals underfoot. Dad intervened. Plate in hand. Enough. Ethan. Austin's earning it clean. But the seed planted doubt, was I martyr or mimic? Saving to prove or to punish? Marcus sensed the shadow that night. As we crashed at the townhouse. His touch gentle exorcism. You're not them. You're the light they chased. Light. In the dark of pre-dawn runs along the lakefront. Pounding pavement to outpace ghosts. I clung to that. Autumn brought the gavel. Ethan's sentencing. A suspended slap that freed him to consult remotely. His emails a mix of contrition and critique. I ignored the barbs, focusing on the crown jewel, Lakeside Legacy. A mixed-use haven blending luxury and low income. Marcus's murals weaving queer icons into brickwork. Groundbreaking drew crowds, mayor ribbon cutting. Press flashing. Dad beaming beside me. Arm around my shoulders for the cameras. Proud. He mouthed. And damn if it didn't crack something open. But crack spiderweb. A rival developer. Sensing blood. Unearthed dirt, not Ethan's. But Dad's vintage, a 90s permit dodge that mirrored the scandal's sins. Lawsuits loomed. Headlines howling. Harlan rot runs deep. The board panicked. Emergency vote teetering on ousting me. Too much baggage. Austin fresh blood needed. Fresh blood. As if queerness were the contaminant. Not the corruption. I stormed out. Phoning Marcus from the garage. It's crumbling again. His voice. Steady as Lake Michigan. Then rebuild solo. I'm with you always. Solo. The word echoed in my Wicker Park solitude that week. Marcus respecting space as I wrestled demons. Dad appeared at dusk. Uninvited again. Bearing Mom's old recipe, book-yellowed pages of apple pie promises. I buried this too. He confessed over tea. Voice cracking. My shortcuts. To give you boys the world. But I shorted you the truth. Truth. We talked till midnight, his youth and post-war Gary. Steel mill dreams dashed. Building Harlan as armor. Feared your path would make you target. Instead, it made you strong. Strong. Tears mingled with tea. Forgiveness a quiet tide. Reinstated by Dawn's vote-me counterpitch of bulletproof ethics charter. Marcus's visuals sealing the cell I emerged tempered. Steelier. Ethan called. Sober, saw the headlines. You could have thrown me under again. Didn't. Thanks. Bro. Thanks. Bridge mended. Tentative planks. Winter holidays healed further. Wedding bells tolling soft. Our Logan Square vows under string lights. Snow dusting the altar. Dad walking maze. Meth aisle. Ethan's best man grin genuine. Marcus's vows. Pinned in his looping script, you coated my heart. Austin bugs and all. Forever debugging life together. Laughter. Cheers. A dance floor alive with allies, queer couples twirling. Straight kin clapping, awkward but earnest. Postnuptials. Harlan hit stride, lakeside breaking records. Diversity hires surging. Dad volunteering for mentorship programs in Bronzeville. A quiet night. Family poker in the townhouse. Ethan folding bad hands with a chuckle. Learned from the best you. AUS. Straighten my act. Pun unintended. But landing true. Marcus dealt the next round. His ring catching light. Our eyes locking in that universal language of us against the world one. By spring's bloom. Scandals faded to footnotes. Legacy lush as the parks we picnicked in. Dad. Frail but fierce. Gifted me Mom's locket at brunch. For the heart that saved us. Inside. Her photo beside mine, young Austin. Gap-toothed and dreaming. Marcus and I. Strolling Navy Pier at sunset. Ferris wheel spinning promises. Knew the real gift, a story rewritten. Not in boardrooms. But in the brave space between sons and fathers. Loves and losses. Chicago. Unyielding. Held us all, queer threads woven into its tapestry. Unbreakable now. The reintegration of Ethan post-sentencing felt like grafting a wild branch onto a prune tree, hopeful, but prone to thorns. He consulted from a home office in Naperville. Video calls crisp with charts I'd inspired. His tone deferential, your call on the zoning. AUS, I trust the vision. Trust. A Harlan novelty. Blooming awkward as spring bulbs under concrete. Marcus teased over breakfast burritos, from foe to sidekick. You're writing fanfic now. Fanfic. Our life. Once plot twist heavy. Lightning to rom-com glow. But lightness lures lightning. The rival's lawsuit escalated. Depositions dragging me to sterile conference rooms where lawyers dissected Dad's 90s sins like coroners at a cold case. Admit negligence. They pressed. Faces bland as Wonder Bread. I held firm. Evolution. Not evasion, we're owning it. Rectifying. Owning. The mantra carried me through media minefields. Interviews with WTW where anchors probed gently, From family scandal to stewardship, what's the Harlan secret? Secret. I smiled for Marcus's camera rolling off set. Love. The kind that rebuilds. Not breaks. Dad's health faltered. Thina heart scare mid-May. Stents and stern lectures from rush docs. I flew him to the condo. Marcus packing his favorite flannel, for the tough guy under the suits. Recovery room visits became rituals. Dad's bedside tales turning tender. Your mom saw it in you first, the fixer. I was blind. Chasing shadows. Shadows. Lifted now. His hand in mine, a map to mending. Ethan visited too. Contrite in khakis, scared me straight. Dad literally. Laughter. Cathartic. The first family guffaw without undercurrent. Wedding afterglow waned into work's whirlwind. Lakeside's ribbon cutting, a triumph. Diverse tenants toasting with Mayor Lightfoot's proxy. Marcus's murals gleaming Stonewall echoes in vibrant strokes. Pride Month amplified it. Harlan sponsoring floats with queer-led crews. Me and Marcus waving from a convertible. Rainbows draping the route. Look at you. Power couple. Ethan texted. Photo attached of him and his reconciling wife cheering curbside. Power. Shared now. Diffused. Yet undercurrents stirred. A bored whisper campaign fueled by holdouts loyal to Ethan's flash questioned my distractions. The wedding. The personal branding. Distractions. Code for my marriage. The hand-holding headlines. Lou shut it down in exec huddle. Distractions. Kids tripled our ESG score. Back off. Back off. Allies emerging. Roots deepening. Marcus's studio hit stride. Commissions flooding. Harlan's biggest client, now his muse. We'd collaborate late. Wine loosening limbs. Ideas flowing freer than the Chicago River. One night. Post-pitch. He pulled a sketch. Us as architects of fate. Tools, love, and logic. Our blueprint. He murmured. Kiss ceiling canvas. Blueprint. For the family we dreamed. Adoption talks tentative. But thrilling. Crisis crested in July heat. Rival dropping bombshell evidence. Forged docs from Dad's era. Implicating me peripherally as Aware Jr. Lies. But slick emails doctored. Timestamps tweaked. Stocks plummeted. Partners paused. Dad's call frantic from rehab. Fight dirty if you must. Son, I did. Dirty. Temptation flickered. Old Harlan habit. But Marcus's voice grounded. Clean. That's you. I lawyered up. Countersuit swift. Forensics exposing the forgery. Digital fingerprints leading to rivals' IT hack. Press conference. Scorched earth. Harlan stands transparent. Attacks like this. Desperation. Viral vindication. Stocks rebounding. Rival folding in settlement shame. Ethan. Unprompted. Testified remotely. My brothers clean taught me that. Taught. Full circle. Thorns yielding fruit. Fall foliage framed recovery. Dad discharged. Joining us for apple picking in Michigan. Orchards wheelchair be damned. His laugh booming as Ethan bested me at cider chugging. To second sons. He toasted. Eyes misty. Second sons. First in my heart now. Thanksgiving gathered us fuller. Ethan's wife thawing. Her hand in his, a mirror to ours. Table talk turned to Future's lakeside expansions. Marcus's gallery show. Adoption agency meets. Kids like you. AUS. Dad mused. Full of fire and fairness. Fire. Kindled queer. Burning bright. By New Year's Eve in the loop. Fireworks bursting over us on a rooftop bar. Marcus pulled me close amid the crush. 1 year married. Best plot twist. Plot twist. Our story. No longer tragedy, but triumph laced with tenderness. Chicago's horns honked benediction. Harlan's lights twinkling below a city rebuilt. One honest line at a time. The forgery fallout faded like summer haze. but it left scars, subtle fault lines in the board's trust. Whispers that tested my footing. I doubled down. Launching Harlan's Equity Initiative, grants for queer entrepreneurs in Boys Town startups. Mentorships bridging divides. Radical inclusion. Marcus called it over morning smoothies. His approval a bomb. Radical. In boardrooms of Brooks Brothers Blues. It felt revolutionary. But results spoke. Applications surged. Partnerships with orgs like Howard Brown amplifying reach. Dad's rehab stretched into autumn vigor. Him shadowing site visits in a sharp cap. Cane tapping rhythm like Morse code for mending. Your mother's ghost approves. He'd quip at pills and pores. Concrete mixing to her hummed lullabies. Ghost. Present now. In every ethical clause I inked. Ethan. Domesticity softening his edges. Co-parented or reconciliation, date nights with his wife. Therapy trios unpacking Harlan hubris. You're the therapist I needed. He joked over beers at Goose Island. Clink's solidifying bro bond. Marcus's gallery show loom November chill. His murals translated to canvas. Harlan's saga abstracted in bold strokes, fractured skylines mending to rainbows. Opening night buzzed. Critics from Art Forum mingling with suits. Dad toasting awkward. To art that builds better than I did. Builds. His concession. Gift wrapped in vulnerability. I wandered the space. Hand in Marcus's. Pride swelling as patrons lingered on prodigal lines, our story. Veiled but vivid. But pride parades precede pitfalls. A disgruntled ex-employee axed for harassment. Not my doing leaked internal memos. Twisting equity into nepotism for Austin's crowd. Social media ignited. Trolls baying Harlan hypocrite. Conservative outlets amplifying. Gay son's grift sinks family firm. Grift. The slur sliced. Echoing Ethan's old venom. Now disavowed but dormant. Board reconvened. Faces grave, PR nightmare. Austin paused the initiative. Pause. As if justice were a toggle. I refused. Channeling fury into a town hall of streamed from Lakeside's lobby. Tenants flanking me like chorus. This isn't grift. It's grace giving back what privilege hoarded. Marcus moderated Q&A. His calm countering chaos. Questions from skeptics met with data, ROI on diverse hires. Community metrics soaring. Views hit millions. Backlash boomeranging to support celebs retweeting. Allies donating. Ethan jumped in. Op-ed in the Sun-Times. My brother's righting wrongs I ignored. Wrongs. Collective now. Absolved in action. Dad. Viewing from home. Texted, kicking ass like your ma. Ma. Her strength. My spine. Holiday pivot, adoption home study. Social worker touring our walk-up, turned nest crib sketches on walls. Marcus's drawings of future family doodled in margins. Ready. She probed. Eyeing our rings. Ready. Nerves electric. But love louder. Approval letter arrived Christmas Eve. Bow on envelope like fate's gift. 2 dads. 1 epic tale. Marcus hooped. Spinning me in the kitchen. Ethan's family swelled to baby announcement over eggnog. His wife's glow-thawing old frosts. Uncle AUS duties start now. He grinned. No trace of rivalry. Duties. Joyful yoke. Winter waned into resolve. Lawsuit echoes silenced in sealed settlements. Harlan's year-end gala shimmerdrag performers opening. Equity honorees spotlighted. Dad slow dancing with a widow from the program. Eyes twinkling. Full circle. He murmured as we clinked flutes. Circle. No straights or gays. Just Harlan shield. Spring brought the miracle. Match call for a 3-year-old boy. Foster edges rough but resilient. Eyes like mom's curious. Kind. Homecoming blurred in bureaucracy. But first hug in our living room. Tiny arms fierce, home. Naming him Riley Rye Fields of Dad's Indiana roots. Wild and free. Riley's laughter echoed through lakeside visits. His tiny heart had a mascot for builds. Board embraced it. Family values redefined. Ethan doted uncle style. Bedtime stories of Uncle Aus the superhero. Superhero. Marcus's sketchbook overflowed. Us three. Skyline Sentinels. By summer solstice. Dad's doc cleared him for travel road trip to Gary. Routes retraced. Steel ghosts loomed. But we toasted progress, from Mills to Marvels. Marvels. Harlan's latest, queer youth center in Uptown. Funded fierce. Picnic in Grant Park. Riley chasing pigeons. Marcus and I shoulder to shoulder. Our empire. He said. Kiss soft. Empire. Built on truth. Towering tender. Chicago's heartbeat. Once discordant. Now our Symphony Redemption's refrain. Love's loudest note. Riley's arrival reshaped rhythms. Our Wicker Park nest alive with sippy cups and storytime symphonies. Mornings blurred and juggling board calls with bottle feeds. Marcus trading canvas for crayons. His designs now diaper bag doodles. Daddy Aus. Build big. Riley'd lisp at site visits. Hard hat slipping over curls. Tenants cooing as I hoisted him to view cranes dancing. Build big. Kid wisdom. Echoing my code kid dreams. Dad adored grandpa duty. Weekly jaunts to the planetarium. Stars like your ma's eyes. Sprout. Sprout. Riley's nickname. Rooted in family soil. Ethan matched pace. Auntie his wife stepping up with puppet shows that rivaled Marcus's flair. Team Harlan. Upgraded. He'd quip. No ego in sight. Upgraded. From fractured to fused. Work waned personal tolls. Equity initiative exploding grants seeding Boys Town bakeries. Uptown tech hubs led by trans founders. Critics quieted. Metrics muzzling mouths. 20% revenue bump from inclusive bids. Lou retired with roast. You queered the corp. Kid best damn thing. Queered. Reclaimed. A badge. But badges tarnish. Fall rains lashed as a new storm brewed. Internal audit uncovering Ethan's lingering loose INSA slush fund skimmed pre-scandal. Pennies to us, but principles to purists. Handle it quiet. Dad urged over phone. Voice wheezed tired. Quiet. Old habit. But I opted loud. Internal memo. Restitution plan. Ethan fronting repayments from his cut. Own the residue. I told him in conference call. Screen splitting our faces mind resolute. His rueful. Residue. Fair. No more ghosts. Ghosts. They haunted deeper when Riley's preschool snag hit waitlist for traditional slots. Admin hemming on family structure review. Structure. As if two dads equaled unstable. Marcus fumed over bedtime fables. They don't get epic. Epic. We appealed. Lawyers pro bono from Equity Network. Media catching wind. Harlan Air fights for Sun Spot. Spotlight scorched. But solidarity surged petitions. Parent allies. City council nudge. Admission granted. With apology pie. Pie. Mom's recipe. Baked for victory dinner. Dad joining with stories of his own schoolyard scrapes. Fought for you boys before you breathed. He said. For pausing. Fought. Past tense yielding to present pride. Winter holidays ho-hoed fuller. Riley's first sled in Lincoln Park. Cheeks ruddy as his giggles. Ethan's kin swelled twin nieces born. Auntie Aus duties doubled. Your naturals. His wife sighed. Envy absent. Naturals. Love's leveler. Marcus's next show. Nested narratives. Wove Riley's world canvases of tiny hands and hard hats. Queer constellations cradling cribs. Sold out. Critics crowing, Harlan's heart. Artist's hand. Heart. Poured into panels now, national confab on inclusive core. Me keynoting to suits nationwide. Legacy isn't bloodliness, it's bold lines drawn together. Together. Applause thundered. Marcus in wings. Riley on hip. Big words. Daddy. Spring bloomed adoptions advocacy. Harlan sponsoring drives foster fairs in Garfield Park. Us three manning booths with balloons and brochures. A teen match sparked 16. Trans kid fleeing foster flux. Eyes wary till Riley's grin disarmed. Brother? He asked. Tentative. Brother. Home stretched. Hearts elastic. Crescendo crashed in June heat. Ethan's old contractor. Grudge held. Sued for discriminatory purge, code for his firing over bribes. Discovery dredged diaries. His rants railing, Ferry Austin's takeover. Ferry. Slur in legalese. Demanding deposition. Courtroom chill bit as he spat. Ruined us all, that lifestyle infecting the firm. Infecting. Marcus testified counter. Voice velvet steel, love builds. Hate hollows. Jury saw through. Verdict vindicating defamation, countersuit pending. Dad. Gallery seat. Squeezed my hand post-trial. Your mod burst. Burst. With pride. I knew. Summer solstice picnic redux. Riley 5 now. Kite string in fist. Fly high. Daddies. High. Our kites tangled triumphant. Chicago's breeze benevolent. Ethan barbecued. Nieces toddling. Dad napping content. Full house. He murmured awake. Full. No voids. By lakefront labors. Marcus sketched horizons. Next chapter more. More. Kids. Campaigns. Canvases. Harlan's towers touched clouds. But our true spire, family. Forged queer and kind. Standing tall against winds. Windy cities whisper, endure. Embrace. Evolve. Riley's kindergarten milestone marked mid-stride. His backpack bulging with crayons and courage as we walked him to doors painted pride bright. Big kid now. Marcus whispered. Throat tight. My arm around his waist a steadying sail. Big kid. Echo of my boardroom baptisms. Now softened to schoolyard waves. Dad tagged along. Spoiling with lunchbox treats. Grandpa's secret weapon cookies for conquering. Conquering. Harlan hallmark. Handed down sweet. Works will turn smoother. Equity a engine now national model. Invites from D. C. Think tanks. Austin Harlan. The inclusive icon. Icon. Unsettling halo. But harnessed for good. Podcasts spilling family truths. From sideline son to spotlight dad. Spotlight. Shared with Marcus's rising star. His TEDx on art as activism viral. Riley cameo stealing hearts. Ethan's countersuit settled fat rival contractor bankrupted. His venom vacuumed. Karma's a bitch. Ethan chuckled over victory wings at Wingstop. Wings saw spicy as sibling spice. Spice. Tempered now. His marriage mended. Therapy is staple. Keeps me honest, your influence. AUS. Influence. Ripple from my resolve. But ripples reverse. False fiscal report glowed. Yet a shareholder revolt brewed hedge fund heavies decrying social experiments, diluting dividends. Proxy fight loomed. Ballots boxed with barbs. Oust the outlier. Outlier. My queerness quantified as quotient. Board split. Lose successor hedging. Numbers first. Austin tone it down. Tone. As if volume were vice. I rallied rogue. Town hall redux virtual. Shareholders schooled on long game gains. Diverse boards outpacing peers by 30%. Marcus scripted slides. Poetic proofs. Vote swung 60-40 my way. Revolt routed. Outlier wins. Dad toasted post call. Sherry sloshing. Wins. Plural now. Our collective. Thanksgiving tableau. Riley's turkey handprint garland. Niece's finger painting chaos. Ethan carving with flair. To outliers. He raised glass. Wink wicked. Outliers. Clan Creed. Winter wrapped wonders Riley's holiday play. Elf ears ask you as he belted Jingle Bells off key. Marcus filmed. Teary. I hooped loudest. Post-show Coco. Dad confided. Missed this with you boys too busy building wrong. Wrong. Righted now. In recitals and roasts. Adoption arced higher. The teen. Alex now ours. Pronouns he/they. Sketches mirroring Marcus thrived in art therapy. High school honors humming. Family fix. Alex quipped. Braces flashing. Fix. From fractures to firm. Spring surged with scandal shadow. Ex-shareholder leak. Twisting equity funds into lavish lifestyles. Photos of our wedding. Riley's park parties paparazzi'd. Tabloids tittered. Gay gurus gravy train. Gravy. Grotesque. Gut punch. PR firm spun counter. Slanderous smears Harlan gives back. Period. Period. Full stop on fiction. Marcus weathered it wry. Villains make heroes hotter. Hotter. Our nights reclaimed. Passion punctuation to public pummels. Dad lawyered libel. Ethan dug dirt on leaker-old crony ties exposed. Suit slapping back. Summer scorched vindication. Settlement silenced snipers. Funds frozen for fraud. Board banquet bonanza. Alex DJing beats. Riley dancing wild. Empire of empathy. Marcus murmured. Slow sway. Empathy. Harlan's new hallmark. By Labor Day Lake Bash. Dad dipped toes tentative. Water's fine life's better. Fine. Fathoms deep in forgiveness. Picnic redux. Kites higher. Riley and Alex racing reels. Daddies. Watch. Watch. We did. Hearts harnessed to their horizon. Chicago's canvas. Once stark. Now splashed queer hues. Kin colors. A masterpiece mended. Mended. Masterstroke of mercy. Our magnum opus, love. Loud and lasting. Alex's high school graduation gleamed June gold. Cap tassel swinging as he slashed they cross stage. Diploma clutched like a key to kingdoms. Proud doesn't cover. Marcus choked. Video steady despite shakes. Riley whooping beside with pom-poms pilfered from cheer squad. Proud. Harlan hum. Harmonized now. Dad. Front row. Rosebud boutonniere from mom's garden. Kids got your fire. Ausburn's bright. Fire. Inherited. Ignited queer. Post-ceremony feast at Giordano's. Deep dish devouring dreams. Alex's Parsons acceptance. Art echoing Marcus's. Legacy loop. Ethan grinned. Nieces napping in laps. Loop. Closed circuits of support. Works zenith. Harlan's IPO whisper. Underwriters wooing with valuations vaulting billions. Your baby. They cooed to me. Prospectus polished with equity exhibits. Baby. Beside Riley's. A different nurture nurtured by nights of number crunching. Marcus's marginalia motivating. But Zenith Zephyr. July's heat hatched a hack rival hackers, ghosts of contractor grudge. Dumping data, old emails. Ethan's era embarrassments exhumed. My personal notes twisted to imply favoritism in grants. Queer quota queen. Headlines howled. Stock stuttering. Board buzzed alarm. Damage control. Austin divest the diversity. Divest. Dagger to doctrine. I doubled down. Fireside chat streamed. Data breach. Not destiny were transparent. Resilient. Resilience. Rally cry. Marcus's montage mending narrative clips of grantees thriving. Riley's school benefiting. Views vaulted. Investors inured. Dad. Poolside in Florida. Phone fierce. Hack and back legally. Legally. We traced trails to offshore ops. FBI fingering the foe. Arrests autumnal. Headlines humbled. Harlan hacks halted. Ethan's role redeemed, cybersecurity overhaul. His tech tinkering turned asset. Brother's keeper. He joked. High five Hardy. Keeper. Kinship's core. Fall foliage framed family flux. Alex off to dorms. Tearful tarmac drop-off. His sketch of us, 4 framed for mantle. Home's portable. Marcus soothed. Riley echoing with hugs. Portable. Hearts. Horizons. Thanksgiving tableau 20-fold, extended kin. Equity entrepreneurs as adopted. Table groaning under global grub. Dad carved. Voice vibrant. From steel to souls Harlan's harvest. Harvest. Bountiful. Beyond balance sheets. Winter's wide-out whittled wonders. Riley's ice rink spins. Alex zooming masterpieces. Niece's nutcracker nuttiness. Marcus's mural for the youth center. Riley's handprint immortalized unveiled to fanfare. Dad dedicating. For futures we almost fumbled. Fumbled. Forgiven. Spring's IPO launched lakeside. Confetti cannonading over Michigan. Tickers ticking triumphs. Austin Harlan. CEO of Change. CNBC crowned. Change. Catalyzed by closets cracked. Summer zenith. Dad's doc pronounced Miracle Man. Us toasting in Gary Mills museums now. His youth yarns yielding to yours truly. You save the name. He said. Sunset searing. Saved. Soul deep. By Labor Day's last light. Beach bonfire with all Alex back. Flames flickering faces fond. Marcus leaned in. Whisper warm. Our opus. Encore. Encore. Kids clamoring stories. I spun the saga. Sideline son to symphony score. Chicago's chorus. Once cacophony. Now cantata queer notes. Kin keys. Crescendoing to coda kind. Coda. Not end. But echo eternal, love legacies. Rewritten radiant.